exciting. We are live. Oh my goodness, happy Monday. Just waiting for folks to join us. Lance is here. There he is. Hello, Lance. We're gonna let a couple of more folks get in, and then we'll have some fun. Let's see. How's my vision today? Vision's good. Got the glasses going. Got the Trip Daddies playing. As we get set for our live stream, Howard Stern on this date. Got all kinds of activity upstairs as usual. Why do I always pick that part of the song? Oh. Come on, Jamie. Oh, here we go. Oh my goodness, we got 6 people in here already, supposedly, or 6 likes. So we're gonna do Howard Stern on this date. I'm gonna turn the music off and say welcome to everybody. Oh, let's turn the music off. Hello, everybody, and welcome. Hello, Emmett. Let me start from the top. It's Howard Stern on this date, Artie Lange updates, and many, many other things that we're going to talk about today. I've got a big crowd already jumping in here. I'm doing this live, and then over here, this is the one that's on tape. So if you didn't see it live, but we already got Lance in here, who's here every time. I appreciate Lance. We've got Emmett. Thank you. Excellent show. A baba booey to you all, he says, or she. I'm not sure if Emmett's a man or a woman, but congrats for coming in here. Emmett, you need 9 likes and subs, 9. So I was going to start with that. We are at 14,975. You're a dude, okay. 14,975 subscribers to this very channel. I'm going to try to go live every day, every weekday at this time, maybe back it up a half hour, who knows. I'm really trying to do it when there's no one kind of moving around upstairs, but that seems to be impossible because you just never know what time that's going to be. But we're going to do some Howard Stern live on this date. If you haven't been here before, thank you for joining. Thank you for joining live. Again, we'll try to do this every weekday. Always looking forward to talking to you folks here. See, there's noise upstairs. I love it. Talk about on this date, right? That's what we're going to do. Any questions from the group today? Any comments, concerns? No? No, we got movement. We've got movement upstairs. I hear it. That's funny. Now the dog is running. Sparky is going to be part of the show at some point. But I thank you for joining me here today. We're going to do some on this date. So let's start with some music. On this date in 2002. In the End by Linkin Park was #1. Rock and roll was still something. Linkin Park. But unfortunately, the next week, Kylie Minogue knocked Linkin Park off the top of the charts. Can't get you out of my head, Kylie Minogue. How big are your balls? Okay, Lance is just asking me to read stuff as High Pitch Eric, I believe. So I don't think he was asking that on purpose. I believe that was a High Pitch Eric question. 1998, Celine Dion, My Heart Will Go On, was #1. This was the 6th week. It was #1 on this date back on, what is today, March 11th? Is it March 11th? Hello, March 11th, and welcome to Monday. How was everybody's Monday? I had a long Monday. I actually woke up late. Because the damn clock change screwed me up. Anybody else get screwed up by the clock change? I was screwed up by the clock change. 1995, #1. Take a Bow by Madonna. She was #1 last week at this point, too. How about #1 in 1994? Graduation year of high school. Was it for anyone else? The Sign by Ace of Base. It was a sign, Ace of Base. They were #1 in 1994. 1992, Remember the Time by Michael Jackson. The 2nd week in a row, it was at #1. And how about 1990? We had Janet Jackson, Escapade, #1. This was her 3rd week in a row at #1. And she was knocked off by the B-52s. Greg, hello, welcome. Does Stern still do the show from home? Yes, I believe he does. I don't even know if he does the show anymore. He wasn't on again this morning, evidently. I don't have Sirius anymore. I have gotten rid of my Sirius, but evidently. Yes, I believe he's doing a show from home. Unless Billy Joel comes in, then he will do the show live. So if it's a big guest, he'll come in and do the show live. But he was not in today. You're welcome, Greg. Thank you. And then people, please just comment. It's much more fun when we got folks commenting and saying things in the live chat, because if you watch this later, you can say, oh, I want to go be part of the live chat. So thank you, Greg. Thank you, Lance. Thank you, Emmett. Big group of folks here so far on this wonderful Monday afternoon as we're going to do some Stern on this date. About 1984. I do this every time, right? 1984. Jump, #1 by Van Halen. Knocked off the top of the charts by Cyndi Lauper girls just want to have fun. So Cyndi Lauper was taking over. So once again, just want to say thank you for joining. We're going to do some Howard Stern on this date, but a reminder that we're looking for subscribers and likes and comments. The more you participate, the more this channel gets boosted up, and that's what we're looking for. We want a community here. So go ahead and just keep commenting. Give me some thoughts if you have any questions, comments when you start hearing the Howard Stern live on this date. Also, I have super thanks enacted, and we have memberships enacted. If you purchase a membership, I'll make it worth your while. Maybe we'll have you join live or something fun. I don't know, but go ahead and look at some of those things in the description. Always read the description. I'm selling shirts. I'm selling product. Talking about product here at 6 minutes in, Simply Safe. Have you checked out Simply Safe? Simply Safe is my new product that I want to talk about. Professional monitoring under under $1 a day, free for your first. Okay, let's start over. We're gonna read this. We're gonna do it right now. Simply Safe, welcome to being one of the tag products today. Do you have Simply Safe? I use Simply Safe here at home. It was very easy to set up, and then I can monitor from home. I can watch Sparky, I can watch the doors. Easy to install yourself and choose optional pro install, complete control with the Simply Safe app. So take a look at my products. I have products, and people are buying the products. I didn't used to use products, but people are going and using the products. What else? And also set up notifications so you can see when I'm going live. Again, I'm going to try to do this every weekday at this time, maybe half hour after, before 5, I don't know. But we'll see how many people join today and see if this is a good time. So far, we've got a nice small crowd, but it's early. This thing builds. It builds up. You guys want to see some pottery that I did back in the day when I was a youngster? I created this in I believe home ec class in 7th grade. And it's now stuck down here because my wife does not want that in the main portion of the house. All right, what are we talking about today? So let's look back at some of the moments in history, and then we'll talk about the Howard Stern history. There's a few things that happened on Howard Stern on this date. He's been taking a lot of vacation at this time. But here in 2011, Japan was struck by an earthquake and a tsunami. That was a big one. Rupert Murdoch was born today in 1931. I don't know the math on that, but I would think 83, right? Rupert Murdoch, he's a former boss of mine. He used to sign my paychecks. So, hey, hello, boss. Thanks for signing those paychecks. How about 2020? Well, that was an interesting year around this time, wasn't it? Let's see what happened in 2020. The World Health Organization declared that COVID-19 outbreak was a pandemic. Oh, yeah, that happened back in 2020. We'll talk about what Howard had to say about that on this date in 2020. But let's head to some of the stuff that Howard was talking about back in the day. And we'll start with March. And again, as always, thanks to Mark Friggin for being the person who sat and typed this stuff out and listened every day. He had lots of time on his hand, I guess, but he enjoyed the show. And on March 11th, 1996, almost 30 years ago, 28 years ago, Friday, the title is Robin Dating Christopher Darden. On Friday evening, some TV show reported that Christopher Darden was dating Robin Quitters. I thought it was some made-up story, but it turns out to be true. Howard said today that he knew but was keeping his mouth shut. That is till the TV show blurted it out. Robin told Howard after her book, Judith Reagan hooked the two of them up for a phone call, and it led to a date. Robin said the two of them got along just fine, but after the date, nothing happened. They're just friends, and they haven't spoken since the date. Chris is a fan of the E! Show and told Robin that he was writing a book, he'd take a break and watch the E! Show and get a good laugh. So Christopher Darden and Robin Quivers together for a date. I remember that happening. Yeah, Robin seems to be a star effer, right? I mean, just as long as you're in the news or you come in the show. Come on, Lance, keep commenting. I need you. I know you're working. Maybe we'll back it up. I know if this is a show for Lance. Lance comes in every time, so I appreciate that. But if Lance can't be here, then I shouldn't be here. He's our number one fan. March 10th, 1997. So we didn't have a chance to talk about this yesterday, but this was leading into March 11th. The King of All Media is #1 with just about everything he touches. Private Parts, the movie, was #1 at the box office this past weekend, pulling in an estimated $15.1 million. Not bad for someone that people love to hate. The soundtrack to the movie is also #1, of course, and his radio show is #1. This is when he's calling himself the King of All Media, and he had the movie. Then Joan London from Good Morning America came in to do an interview. On March 11th, 1997, The Los Angeles Nightmare. This is what Mark Friggin was writing about. Howard spent a good 55 45 minutes yelling at Stuttering and John about his antics out in LA. John was doing some things that were sort of inappropriate. He was lighting up his weed out by the hotel pool, and then he was in a cabana that he hadn't paid for. Howard said John had a whole scene going on with his fiance and his baby and a bunch of their friends. Then there was a bill for $500 that Howard got because the hotel people thought that John and his buddies were with Howard. Howard has come up with a new rule for work-related trips. He says no one is to bring their wife on any trip. So Stuttering John doing his normal thing there and making sure that Howard was angry on March 11th, 1997. Again, we're doing Howard Stern on this date. We had March 11th, 1999, and we had the KC gay lie detector test. And Ed Torian came in and asked a bunch of questions. I'll read him as Ed here. Have you ever been aroused looking at a man in the shower? And Casey said, no. Have you ever fantasized about a man? He said, no. Do you like women? He said, yes. So anyway, Ed Torian comes in and gives Casey the test, and that's right, Lance. Stuttering John always taking advantage. Thank you for commenting about that story. So the Casey lie detector went on and on. This was a long part of the show. Let's see, what did Ed say? So a little later, Ed came back with the results. It turns out that Ed found that Casey is most likely bisexual, and so I think everyone thought that about Casey. Casey argued about his findings, but Ed did say that Casey was lying about things like wanting to kiss Gary's lips and about it being attracted to Howard. He wasn't attracted to Jackie, though. Casey was so defiant of the results that Howard decided to test him again because the first time was kind of disorganized, and they didn't write all the questions down. So they did another test, I believe, and this was on March 11th. So they did it again later in the show. Casey, you like that imitation, Ed? I'm trying to get Ed on the show. I've emailed him. I think he's had some issues. I'm trying to get Ed Torian on the show, though. Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining. So after the break, Ed Torian was back in the studio to give the results of Casey's second lie detector test. And Ed said he came up with the same conclusions that they did with the first. Howard ran through the questions, and Ed gave the results. He claimed that Casey was lying about the gay stuff when he denied he was gay. Casey found all this hard to believe. I miss Casey on the show. I miss Stuttering John on the show. I think this was, and Jackie, this was one of the moments during the heyday of the show when you had that group going at each other. Casey was wonderful in the show. And then again, I've interviewed him before. He's been still doing some things. I think he's okay. I think he does a Twitter show. So and would like to get Casey back on here. He knows that. I text him every once in a while. I'm going to text him later. That's what I'm going to do. But anyway, that's what happened on March 11th, 1999. Also, we had Paul White, the Giant, come in from WWE. So he was out there talking about WrestleMania. He had just moved to WWE. So Paul White was in the show. Well, let's see here if there's anything. He talked about sexual stuff with the guy. He found out that Paul's genitals are in proportion to the rest of his body, so they're pretty damn big, according to Paul. He said his girlfriend's in pain after having sex with him. Howard said he'd split you like firewood to Robin. Blah, 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 blah. Of course, there was some anal questions. But I remember that interview kind of quick. If you remember back in the day, Howard's interviews were quick, about 30 minutes, and then they'd have to go to break. So it was a lot of just fast, quick questions. I think the sweet spot was around when he got to Sirius, and maybe, well, I guess the first McCartney interview was pretty good, but I always thought these interviews he was doing were hurried back in the mid-90s. So we're doing, again, Howard Stern on this date. We're looking back at these moments from Mark's Friggin'. We're doing it live for the folks here. If you're joining over here, this is on tape. I record these, and I put them back out for later. Gotta say, I look pretty good in these glasses today. Black, and the black glasses are good here. So anybody, please comment if you have anything you want to hear about or talk about as we're running through the best of Howard on this date. March 11th, 2003. Howard said they'll be doing a Judith Regan dial-a-date today. By the way, I was following Judith on Twitter, trying to get her to be part of this show. And her Twitter is no longer around, so I don't know what happened to her. Last I saw of her, she was, what was she doing? I know that she did the OJ book, and she hosted that show with OJ, and then they replayed it a couple years ago, If I Did It, but that was interesting. So anyway, Judith Regan was on Dial-A-Date. I'm not going to run through that. March 11th, 2004. So just to give some context, so what was going on in 2004? So we had the Super Bowl, we had the Janet Jackson and Justin Timberlake wardrobe malfunction, which led to some FCC tightening. which led to Howard being looked at more scrutiny. I think what stations dropping him. So on March 11th, 2004, we get Howard talking about he wants to be on satellite radio. So Howard said after yesterday's show, people have been asking him if he's really going to satellite radio. He said he's not sure yet. He spoke to his agent yesterday about all this stuff and talked about it on the air. His agent understands his complaints and knows why he doesn't want to be there right now. But again, the announcement comes in, let's see, the announcement comes in October. So it took maybe 6 months for that deal to get together. Patriots winning, that's right, 2004. F the Patriots, Lance. I'm not a big fan. They stole a Super Bowl from the St. Louis Rams. May have stole our team. Well, we may still have a team if we win that second Super Bowl. Anyway, so just letting you know that on this date in 2004, we had Howard opining for Sirius and being on Sirius satellite radio. We also had some Gary Garver interviews, and he was getting the big names. He got Sybil Shepherd. Sybil Shepherd hates Howard, according to Gary in the interview. Gary asked some more softball questions. He also talked to Eartha Kitt, and he also talked to Gary Coleman in this rip. Then we had some Stump the Buoy. I always love Stump the Buoy. Let's see here. What do we got? Lord. Hello, Lord. Perry Caravello. I'm not reading that, but Red Sox. Yeah, I got that, Lance. Yeah. How about the Stanley Cup, Lance? We had the Blues beating the Bruins. That was our revenge. But thank you, Lord, for joining us here on Howard on this date. But I'm not going to read that comment. But I don't even know who that is. You may have to tell me more about that, Lord Humongous, talking about something happening in 1992 that I'm not going to read. But if you're on here, you can see what he said. Hey, that gives you a reason to come check and see what we're talking about here. March 11th, 2005, Ralph annoys many is how the show starts off. No Las Vegas trip for the Stern Show, so Howard gets angry about that. Crazy Cabbie backs out of an interview. Beetlejuice to fight the 4-foot, 215-pound Toad the Dwarf. And then we had John Stamos come in and the worst comic sitting contest. I don't remember that contest, and I don't even think I kept notes of it. So, but I will read how Ralph was annoying folks here back. Thank you. Blues great team then, big night. But that was a bad. The Blues are no longer any good, and they're playing Boston tonight. By the way, we could have a little milkshake bet, but I won't bet on the Blues. I don't think the Blues will be playing well tonight against the Boston Bruins. But hello to my St. Louis fan. By the way, we've got a nice crowd here. If you like baseball and you like baseball interviews, I'm moving all that to my other channel. You can see it in the description. But baseball St. Louis centric channel over at youtube.com at Here's the Pitch with Brad. At Here's the Pitch with Brad. I'd love if you all go over there and subscribe and get over there. Just search Here's the Pitch with Brad. You should be able to find it. We've got 500 subscribers or something over there. I need to get to 1,000. So, but go over there. And thank you for everyone coming in now. We're about 15 minutes in. We've got a nice little crowd here. Hey now, mine suck. Hello, hello. Let's see who else. Lord Humongous, I don't know what you're saying. Greg, when do you think the Stern Show started to decline? I think it started to decline when Artie got left. It's my opinion. I always say this, but I stopped listening after Artie left. I couldn't imagine the show without him. And I know there are a few good years thereafter, but as I go through these recaps and start looking at what's on the show and realize that what he's been doing lately has been happening for the last 6 or 7 years. And what I'm saying is the Mamets and the Wildings and sort of the unfunny folks, to me, they're there. Hello, oh Lord is goofing on Lance. Okay. So that's my answer to your question, Greg. Thank you for that question. Let's see, I'm going to keep an eye on the chat. Again, we're here live over here. That's why I'm looking over here. When I look up here, I'm talking to the folks that I taped this show for. We're going through Howard stuff on this date, but I'm answering people live as we go through here. And please continue. Thank you, Greg. Greg agrees with me with when the Stern Show declined. So, but we're here to talk about the good times, right? That's what we do here. We take some of these moments and we have some fun with them. Let's see. So Ralph annoys many. Howard said he got about 9 million emails about how Ralph was on the show too much yesterday. He said he's going to have to look into that, but he thought Ralph was fine and had some good stuff to talk about. So Ralph was annoying folks. On March 11th, 2005, and then we had Crazy Cabbie backing out of an interview. He said that Howard said that Cabbie called and asked to come on the show today. He was recently suspended for playing songs he wasn't supposed to play during his air shift. Cabby was supposed to be there already, but Cabby told him that he wasn't coming in. Gary said, so Cabby, here we go with the Cabby drama. Cabby's been on this show twice, by the way, so if you want to see us talk about this moment, actually, it's on our Cabby show. And I'll probably post it again because that's what I do. And people get so mad, but I'm putting it in there. I'm saying, hey, we're going to repost some stuff. So, hello, we got about 25 people in here. Hello, and everybody. Hello, KS. Can you help me find my sandwich? Okay, let me think. Do I know who this is? Can you help me find my sandwich? I don't understand that. I don't know what you're talking about. Okay, first aid. I'm sorry, KS. I appreciate comments and continue to comment. I don't know if I'm supposed to understand what you're saying, so maybe help me out. Maybe it's somebody I know. I don't know, but I thank you for commenting. So we talked about Crazy Cabby. Beetlejuice was going to fight a 4'5", 215-pound Toad the Dwarf. So we had Beetle coming in dressed in boxing attire. I believe this was when... I can't see what that is. Show us. Oh, show us. So John, he's a funny guy. This John, show us your, and then he's got a picture of a chicken. I'm gonna bet you meant show us your gag. I'm not doing that. We won't be doing that here today. But I got it. Okay, we wanted roast beef, not rooster. The comment. Maybe we shouldn't have comments. Maybe I should turn the comments off. No, I appreciate all this. KS. Okay, where's the beef? Huh. I wanted the sausage. That's what I'm saying. If that's what you're talking about, I have no idea what's going on in the comments are starting to have their own show, and that's fine. That's why we're here. We can have fun like that, right? I'm gonna skip the Beetlejuice show. We move on to March 11th, 2008. On this date, Lord and KS are having a conversation here. What, John? What is going on with you? If you see what John is saying in these comments, folks. Who would win in a foot sprint? High Pitch Eric or Jeff the Drunk? This is a great question. Let's talk about that. While KS and John are having some strange. I'd have to go Eric, right? I mean, Jeff can barely walk. Eric seems to have lost some weight. So let's go with who would win in a foot race, according to asking Lord. Lord is asking that. High Pitch Eric or Jeff the Drunk? I'm going to go High Pitch. I want to see the pooch. High Pitch would win. All right. March 11th. You guys continue to comment. I'll keep an eye on that. But let's see what's going on. I'm sorry for the folks that are just watching here. Where the commenters are let me see what that is. I can't see what that is. Is that motor oil? I don't know what's going on here. I don't know. I'm okay. I'm okay with it. I appreciate this. I wonder if is this the SHULI crowd? Is this what is that thing? What are they called? What is the SHULI crowd called? The not the Uncle Rico show, but there's a. You guys know what I'm talking about. Anyway, I'm just trying to channel my classic Stern persona, says John. Okay, appreciate that. March 11th, 2008. Let's get back to the on this date. Or I'll get lost in these comments. I appreciate people. Just continue to comment. Tell your friends that we're live here and we're having some fun. What SHULI? No, I don't. I hope you thank Howard Stern for contributing to your content instead of trashing him. I do. And what's we're doing here? We look back at all the great stuff. Yeah, Marcus. Hello and welcome. Thank you for coming in. But yeah, I enjoy the Stern Show. That's why I have all these old guests on. And that's why we look back at on this date. That's why we're here. Yeah. We love the Stern Show, just not now. The show's not good now. So we come here and we talk about what we liked about the show back in the day. Yeah. And we see if there's any great moments on this date. March 11, 2008, Dominic Barber talks about Governor Spitzer's story. Let's see, what else happened? We were waiting for Pete Burns from Dead or Alive. We had some JD controversy and the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame clips. So March 11, 2008, Howard read some email about JD and Jared's fighting on the show. A lot of people like having him on the show now and think he's a great replacement for Eric the Midget, who hasn't been calling lately. Mark from Jersey City called in and said he'd like to see JD going out and doing some celebrity interviews or something. So I guess we were just getting JD as part of the show. Hello, Tommy. First time here. Found you on the vertical. Thank you. What's your show about? So we do Howard Stern on this date. We look back at things that have happened on this date, and we all discuss them, and then we If you're new to the channel, then I also I'll interview former people that were on the show. So subscribe. This is a good point for me to stop down and say, listen, we need subscribers. We need people to continue to comment. So thank you, Tommy, for coming in. I'm trying to see, did I miss any? Oh, don't want to do that. Okay, I saw you, Marcus. Saw your comment, Tommy. But we need subscribers. We want more. We want to get to 15K. Then we want to get to 30K. Then we're going to go to Rhode Island, Connecticut. Then we're going to take back the White House. Ah! Ross. Hello, Ross. This is a show about Howard Stern and the 1980s Cardinals. Yes, we will be talking lots about the 80s Cardinals in the future here. I did mention, though, I have a new channel. Please just look at my description, too. I have the description here. I have the description in the channel up there. And you can see that I have a whole channel devoted to baseball. Lance, of course, saying Stern Show was 1990 to 2016 was awesome. Stern is in ICU? What? Oh, come on now, KS. That's not nice. Okay, let's see. Tommy, okay, got it. Never watched too much of Stern, but yeah, I understand he's got quite the shock. That's right. Following. So that's what we do here. Appreciate you coming by. Let's see. YouTube is not about subscribers. It's about viewers on your live. You want to have at least 200 people watching your lives, and I think you get a good audience at least. We're trying, you know. I think, what did we have, 40, 50 the last time? And if you look back, the more people come and check this out. So we're going live every weekday, I think, at this time. Do you think Stern had Ralph murdered? No, I don't want to say that. Do you remember Jim Nichols, the regular Stern caller? I don't. I'm sorry, Uncle Teddy, but thank you for coming in and saying hello, Uncle Teddy. I am looking for Teddy, by the way. I cannot. If anybody knows Teddy Microphone, Artie's former assistant, I think that's a guy I'd love to interview and have on this program. So if anyone has a contact for him, I have none. I've not. I mean, I've been able to contact pretty much anybody that I was interested in talking to. Tan Mom, I'm not interested in Tan Mom. Elisa Jordan, I haven't tried. K Jobs, I'm not sure about who that is. Teddy works at Bloomies. Let me write this down. That's right. Who calls it Bloomies, by the way? What kind of... I already got mad about that. So March 11th, 2008. So we just do a little on this date, and I go back in. Danny, you had a question. Why do you always have Artie Lange in your titles? I'll just skip over that question. Let's discuss the date we think the show died. Okay, John, let's get into that. What is the date? Is there a jump the shark moment in your guys' opinion? I was thinking about this today or yesterday when I was doing my research. I think the show died. I'm sure. Let me just have you all seen the leaked video of the summit? Where Howard wants A-list guests, and he wants Gary to be dressed up, and he had this great idea sitting up at 2 a.m. in his office, and came back, and the show was, I thought, terrible since then. I thought it was terrible when Artie left. After Artie left, I felt like that voice was missing. I still thought there was some good stuff with the E crew and Tim and kind of the news team was still good. 2010, 2011. But the E crew leaves in 2014. Tim Sabian leaves in 2014. And I think that's really the death of the show, in my opinion. Now, you guys can tell me when you think. Lance says yes when Stern TV went off. That's it. John says when Eric the Midget died. Okay, that's interesting. When was it? This was 2014, right? John says when Stern went away from the Whack Pack because it wasn't politically correct. Yeah, I mean, it's all kind of around that same time. Danny has a valid question, Brad. Yeah, the Artie thing. I try to give Artie Lange updates every time. First of all, it's in the algorithm, so if I put Artie Lange in the title, we do talk about Artie Lange on this. It's not like I'm saying Babe Ruth. I don't talk about Babe Ruth on the show. I talk about Artie Lange. And I can say again, if you're watching, I believe you will be hearing from Artie Lange in, let's see, a couple months. I think you'll be hearing him come out of hiding, and then we're going to try to get him on this show. So that's why. When Mehmet arrived, says Sal. Oh, God, I hope this is Sal Governale. Oh, God, that'd be so great. But I don't think that's Sal Governale. By the way, do Sal and Richard work for the show anymore? I guess they do because Richard's on during the Chiefs stuff. But yeah, let's see. $9,000 I owe. The days Howard started therapy is being mentioned as a time when the show died. Okay. Danny, yes, I did answer your question. Yeah, no, I have no problem answering that. I know people say that in the title or in the comments, and I reply. I try to as much as I can, but I'm getting uncomfortable with my chair. My chair is uncomfortable. All right, do you? Hello, AC2. I like that. That's I believe that's from a Gary Garver interview. I haven't listened since Artie has left. It's been unlistenable, says Ross. Okay, I agree. The slow death started when he started considering celebrities as friends instead of hating them. I agree with that. Well, Ellen DeGeneres showing up on the program, I believe, would be a wonderful moment to say this is when the show has jumped the shark. Do you enjoy dad's? I don't know what that means. I think I know what it means, but I think it's just disgusting. I don't. What's wrong with these people? I'll take a chubby pickle. Who thinks Howard was just the king of all plagiarism? It's pretty interesting. It's funny you say that because we're gonna go back to On This Date, and I know there. Let me see here. Where was I? But Howard was mad about something. But I'm gonna continue reading the comments because we have a live show. We have a live. So if you're wondering what I'm doing here, if you're watching later, this is I'm live. You know, I go live. I go live. I think we're gonna try to do this weekdays when I can, 4 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Eastern. Ellen and Rosie, yes. Danny, that's definitely. We know it's a wig. This is not a wig. Oh, you're talking about Howie. Of course, it's a wig. Da, 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 da. So, I can't remember what we were going to talk about it. We were going to talk about this plagiarism thing. But let's look back at March 11, 2009, and then I will continue to read the comments again. Nice amount of folks in here. I love it. Keep the comments coming. Keep the likes coming. March 11th, 2009, we had Tim talking about his detox, and we had a lot of Dr. Ronnie. I like the Dr. Ronnie segments. I thought she was a kook. I think Robin's a kook for always trying these. I mean, everyone tries a diet. I think it's funny. All right, so I got to stop here. Ross asked for Dan the Song Parody Man. Dan was very close to coming on about 3 years ago. Then had some family stuff, and I think now he does more stuff with the show again. So anybody who goes back and does stuff with the show, they're not coming on here. Like Craig Gass was gonna be another guest who came back and talked more about his fun on the show, but now he's on the show, so they don't come here. No pun in the name, but what happened to Danny the hashtag hating guy? I don't know who that is. So if anybody in the comments knows who that is, thank you so much. We have a super fan. It's not. We have a super thanks. So much, Sal, for super thanks. That's in the comments. You can do that. Sal, this is not G-Man Sal, but a big fan. How do you feel about your Cardinals this season? Are you following the Stuttering John Dabbleverse? I don't think the Cardinals are going to be any good. Oh my gosh, thank you so much for the super chats, guys. This is great. I don't think the Cardinals will be any good. I don't think the pitching's any good. I don't think they have enough depth in offense, and I don't think they have enough bullpen. So that's three things that they don't have that you need to have. I guess the defense will be okay. And the Dabbleverse, I don't follow that. I think Stuttering John's kind of a wreck. I like Stuttering John. I did. We had some beers. It's just interesting that I don't know what's going on in the Dabbleverse. I stay away from it. I do my own thing over here. I put up Artie Lange updates, and I do what I do here. But Sal, thank you so much for the super thanks. Anybody else can do that as well. You can be a member here. We're having fun. Look at this. We have a live stream going. We got over 30 folks in here. Future of Stern if and when he retires, Volt asks. I don't think we'll see him ever. I think he'll be like Johnny Carson. He'll just die a slow death on a boat, right? I mean, how old was Johnny? Johnny was only in his early 60s, though. I'm trying to see here. Hello, Chris. Thank you for coming in. Danny, he did the whole hashtag thing when Billy West was around. I don't remember that. It's so sad that Stern won't even acknowledge the way the show was for 30 years. It's so interesting that is, and then there's no callers that can get through to even mention like Howard. What happened? What happened to the show? But that is that's what happens. Okay. Should I go back to the on this date, or are we just going to keep continuing the conversation here? Sorry if you're watching this not live, but I'm just reading the comments or trying to and respond. This is what we do live. So I always post this later, so you can come here. You can look at this description for the Simply Safe products or any of the other products that are tagged. Go out and get the Simply Safe. It's a wonderful security system that I use here in the ST Weekly studios. Nice crowd today, though. I'm very excited about this. Let's see. Dr. Ronnie on March 11th, 2009. March 11th, 2010. Howard reminds us about being ripped off. We have a Mistress Beauty pageant. Nothing really happened. And Andrew Dice Clay visits. And then March 11th, 2013, Howard refuses to talk about America's Got Talent. 2013, America's Got Talent. So we've had a lot of discussions about when the show got bad. How about going on America's Got Talent or opining to be a judge and needing to be a judge on America's Got Talent? I think that was a big, terrible moment. I think that was, we've talked about all the being in the mainstream, but that was a bad time. Dennis Rodman audio clips back on this date. We had top 5 songs, and Bubba the Love Sponge visited. Howard refuses to talk about AGT. Howard started the show talking about, he said he's not going to talk about America's Got Talent. Howard said there was a lot of scumbags. He said he talked too much about it last year, so he's not going to talk about it. He said he sat in his room thinking about it, and he doesn't want to share now. So he was having a breakdown in 2013, I thought. Elegant Elliot, I'd love to have him on. I can't find a contact for him. So there's that. Just reading the comments here. Spell red, yes. LED, red. AG2 was pretty bad, especially with a dog act winning. I never watched the show. Did you guys watch because he was on? Did that happen? I felt like his fans probably were revolting, and he was just trying to obviously get that new audience. But I never watched it. Greg didn't watch it. I got to be honest. I've never seen it. I've seen clips, of course. I love Howie Mandel. I think he's hilarious. Clownvis, my friend Clownvis was on there and was booted off the show, but was hilarious. So hopefully, if we have any friends here of Clownvis, I always like to say thank you, Clownvis, for your show. And hopefully he's watching today because I watch his show now. I'm a huge fan. I love his songs. I love that he sings before. Let's see, March 11th, 2014. On this date, we had Gary on Hollywood Game Night. We had Eric the Actor and Johnny Ferrato call in. And Chelsea Handler News. Jason Bateman visited. So we had a good guest on this date in 2014, but the rest, not so good. Now, how about this date? March 11th, 2015. On this date, this was the day Madonna showed up on the show. This is also the time Howard moved the show to 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Another point in the show, Howard never, ever talked about moving the show to the afternoon. He said that'd be dumb, but we did have Madonna on March 11th, 2015. And David Arquette called in as well. But they did the show during the day for that. Any word on Yucko? Funniest dude ever. His MTV and Howard stuff was insane. So if you have come here before, I've talked about Yucko. I've asked Yucko to be on the show. Is today Eric the Midget's birthday? If I missed that, I'm so sorry. But let's take a moment and celebrate one of the best callers. Who's the best whack packer? Is he the best whack packer, according to you guys? Yucko, though, he is doing some voice work for an animated show that's actually been picked up by Netflix, like in its 3rd season. I think he's got 2 or 3 shows going. Rick and Morty, is it not? It's not Rick and Morty. Can't be that. But it is a show that's kind of a big deal on Netflix. So I had to talk to his representation, Roger's representation, and thought I had him coming here to be part of this program. but no chance after the show got picked up again by Netflix. Beat is the GOAT. Yeah, happy birthday to Eric. That's right, Lance. You got Eric the Midget as the best whack packer. Beetlejuice best loving whack packer. I'm interested in what that means. What's the difference? Volt. Yeah, on this date, March 11th, 1975. Man, well, we will be putting that in the title. Eric the Midget born on this date. I might have to replay the Jan interview that I did. I had Jan was part of the show. Yeah. When he was in his car, he was driving, so I felt bad that I didn't have more time with Jan, but that was a fun interview to do. Again, we're doing live chat with the folks here. I always feel like I have to reset with the other camera over here because that one's not live. People hopefully are coming to that. But again, check out the description. Look at some of the things going on in the description. You can buy some shirts. You can do some super thanks, which I really appreciate Sal for doing. You can become a member of this channel. Maybe we'll come up with a way. Maybe you can co-host this this fun with me if you become a member. I don't know. Maybe we can make that happen. Jan was a... Oh, no, come on, John. I'm not going to read that. That's not nice. Jan's a nice guy. Crazier than Eric. Jan is a wonderful person. As a caregiver, I had to caregive for a family member for just a couple months, a little bit. Not even close to what Jan was doing. He does God's work. He's got his parents are kind of all messed up. So any chance at getting one of the surviving Jesus twins? I am in contact, and I will mention today. I actually sent out another request to one of the Jesus twins. I guess the only Jesus twin now. We've had many conversations over the past 3 years, and still trying to get him on. And hopefully he will do it. And I've told him it will be very, hopefully cathartic. It will be, because he's had, if you guys remember, his brother was had suicide by cop, and a very sad story. Those guys, what I mean, when you think of best moments on the show of crazy guests, I mean, they have to be the craziest guests of all time, right? I mean, I can't think of any other guests that came in that I was like, and I loved them. I love what they did. Let's see. Come on, there's no need to call, no name calling here, John. Come on. Darth Nihilus. Hello, Darth Nihilus. So let's see. I've read a lot here. March 11th, 2019. Tom Seaver's got dementia. Alex Trebek has cancer. Just some terrible news. And then on March 11th, 2020, COVID was coming. Howard didn't want to be in the studio on this date, and this was the last day. He was not in the studio on this date. On March 10th, 2020, he was in the studio, but complained the whole time about being in the studio. And then COVID hit, and they were gone out of the studio since then. All right, so that's 40 minutes. We've got some people coming in, some people leaving. Let me see if I had anything else I wanted to read to the group here today. Happy birthday, Johnny Knoxville. So Johnny Knoxville and Eric the Midget, both having birthdays on this date. We did a lot of on this date. The coronavirus was coming through here. Let's see. You didn't think their music was that bad, Greg? Okay. Move on from that. Remember when Howard would get... All right, I'm not going to read, but I do remember that, John. Yes, it was fun. So we got a couple more minutes here before I go eat dinner. We're going to do this again tomorrow. I have much more to discuss. Hopefully you guys are enjoying this. Again, I can't thank Sal enough for the super thanks. I super thank you. Check out the description for products and the other channel I'm trying to do here, which is a baseball channel. Just search at Here's the Pitch with Brad and moving all the baseball stuff over there. Looks like John and Volt are having a discussion. What's for dinner? I don't know. I keep asking, and I can't get an answer out of that woman. What are we having? She won't tell me. She hates that I do this. We're still alive. We're still talking about on this date. We're 45 minutes in. I feel like that's a good amount of time. We had a good crowd. I hate to shut down. I'm here for you though. Let's talk. What else is there to talk about? We can. I'm out of stuff. I have my Johnny Knoxville note here on my iPad. That was the last thing I had. Let's see. How about some? Yeah, you know, do that. Let's just look at some pictures. Anyone want to look at some pictures? Let's see. Here's a picture of my mom. That's my mom back in the 80s. Look at those glasses. So that's Judy off the iPad. So this is Howard on this day live. Thank you for joining. Last call for questions, comments, concerns. Are you guys coming back tomorrow? Anything you want to talk about tomorrow? Again, the show is off this week. I thought maybe if I don't have a subscription anymore. What do you think about the Tyson fight? I think it's gonna be rigged. I think Jake Paul will win. Right? What happened in the Floyd Mayweather fight? Because I wasn't watching back then. But yeah, I'd like to see it. I'd like to see Tyson just knock the crap out of him, but I think he'll just probably go soft on him. Plus, he's 57 years old. It's not the 21-year-old Tyson. The lady who got hit by a pitch on Jimmy Kimmel Live by Baba Booey. How did she die? Did that happen? I don't believe that happened. Hello, Chris. I haven't seen you joining us, though. Thank you for coming in and saying hello. Tyson should destroy him. I agree. I agree with that. Mike Tyson should, and I hopefully will. I did enjoy, though, the Netflix Jake Paul documentary. I know it was a fluff piece. Let's stop. All documentaries are fluff pieces. But I was like, okay, at least he's trying. He's trying to do something there. Tyson is an awesome show. I wonder if he'll bring his tiger. If he brings a tiger to the ring. But yeah, it's an interesting. I mean, to get Mike Tyson out of retirement, I mean, you got to be paying him a ton of money. And I think everybody's been waiting. I mean, when was the last time that guy boxed? Was it like Evander Holyfield? Like what? When? I can't remember. So anything else? I'm gonna go ahead and. I think I'm gonna go ahead and close up shop. I'm getting tired. It's a lot of talking. This is me talking to you. Again, check out the memberships, though. If you're interested in becoming a member of the channel, I'll come up with something fun. Maybe you can be part of this. We'll bring you in. He did fight Roy Jones. I'll have to look that up. Huh? How did I miss that? I thought I'm usually in on that. But that's it. Howard Stern on this date. Thank you for all the likes. Thank you for all the love. I appreciate everybody coming in. I'm going to say goodbye. You guys can stay. I'm leaving. I don't know if that's a thing. What if I just walk off and you guys just stay here? Thank you for subscribing. Yeah, please subscribe if you have never been here. Tell your friends. We're at 14,000 something, 975. We need to get to 15,000. But that's why we're here. So thank you for joining. We'll do this again tomorrow and hopefully every day right around this time. Had a good discussion. Bye for now. Thank you, Sal.